Top tips for buying a motorhome.
Buying a used motorhome should be one of the most pleasurable experiences that you'll ever do. However, if you don't do your homework properly, it could actually be the most costly. I've been selling motorhomes and caravans for nearly 25 years, and in that time I've helped thousands of people to buy the right thing. Here are my top tips to make sure that you do exactly the same.
Number 5. Size matters.
Size matters, and motorhomes come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, from the small but perfectly formed Roma homes right up to the tag axles of Auto Trail and beyond. So think about where you're going to park your motorhome. Are you going to be taking it down country lanes, or are you going to be taking it abroad where there's a bit more room to drive? Think about the size, make sure you pick the right one for you.
Number 4. Money, money, money.
Think about and set the budget, whether you're using cash, whether you're using finance, or whether you're using a little bit of both. The deal from the dealer should be exactly the same. Just make sure that you leave a little bit of flexibility in case you fall in love with a vehicle that's that bit more than what the budget you'd set.
Number 3. Layout, layout, layout.
When buying a house, they say it's all about location, location, location. When buying a motorhome, it's about layout, layout, layout. Think about who's going to be using the vehicle. Think about who's going to be sleeping in it. Think about if you need extra space, extra storage for any hobbies that you might use, and think about who's going to be travelling in the back of the vehicle. If there are people travelling in the back and you need seat belts, this will seriously restrict the amount of layouts that you can look at. It probably, in used vehicles, would write off about 50% of the vehicles that you will be able to choose. So layout is really important. Take a long, hard think about it and make sure you get the right one.
Number 2. Vehicle checks.
Once you've done all the aforementioned and you've homed in on the target vehicle, it's time to check it over and check it again. If you're buying from a dealer, chances are that you're going to be okay with most of the things because they'll do safety checks, etc, etc. But if you're buying privately, then there are a lot of things you've really got to take care of. You need to check that the vehicle's not been stolen, you need to check that there is no outstanding finance on the vehicle, and you need to check that it's not been involved in any major accidents or been a total write-off. Graphics from manufacturers are fairly readily available, so make sure that the vehicle that you're buying is what it purports to be, not just a home build or a bespoke manufacturer that's been badged up as somebody else's product. This might sound a little crazy, but please make sure that this belongs to this. There have been occasions which I've known of where this has been from a stolen vehicle, put on a non-stolen chassis, and if you're buying privately, you could be costing yourself an awful lot of money if you buy one of those. Check that the vehicle's cab and engine look like they've done the same sort of miles that's recorded on the odometer, because if the steering wheel shows lots of signs of wear and the pedals show lots of signs of wear and the thing's only got 20,000 miles on it, then it might be something that you need to look very carefully at. One of the main things to worry about when you're buying a motorhome is whether it's damp or not. If you're buying from a dealer, they should check it with a damp meter and make sure everything is okay. If you're buying privately and you haven't got a damp meter, then there are a few basic checks that you can do just with your fingers and by smelling and by looking to see whether the vehicle has any damp. Normal places you might get damp around windows, check with your fingers, make sure it's solid and not soft, make sure there's no damp stains, check around roof lights and places like this, anywhere where there could be leaks, make sure it's solid, make sure there's no stains and make sure there's no smell. Okay, so again, if buying from a dealer, they will check that all your appliances work, there's no gas leaks, no water leaks, etc, etc. But if you're buying privately, make sure that you see the things working. Check your oven, make sure that everything lights, check your hob, check the fridge, make sure that if it's supposed to work on 3 powers, gas, electric and 12 volt, that it does work on all 3. Of course, there's the basic things you need to check. Make sure all the tyres are good, listen to the engine, have a quick look, make sure there's no oil leaks, have a quick look at the exhaust if you can and make sure that that's not blowing, and just do the sensible, normal things that you would do if you were buying a second-hand car.
Number 1. Take care when buying.
Yes, you might expect me to say this, right, because I'm a dealer, but my number 1 tip for buying a used motorhome is exactly that. Buy from a dealer, and a reputable one at that. If you do so, I think that could help you avoid all the pitfalls that we've just talked about and all of the things that you would need to worry about. If you don't and you buy privately, just make sure you take extra care. It's your choice.